Okay, over on Royal Blood again. Have I? What is this? Pretty sure this is the second game though, unless. Oh yeah, it totally is because look, they're in other sides of the map. ObsceneFork this time is up here, and Fyreheart, who did win the first game, is over here. But we are on the same map. Variety is the spice of life, people. So ideally do play on a different map for each game, but it doesn't really matter, I suppose. A lot of the maps are, it's the finer points of them really that make them different. And at this stage in the competition, I don't think we're ready for the finer points. So pro tips time. Make sure your workers always get back to work when you've sent them to build something. What you can do is hold the shift button, and if you shift allows you to hold in shift allows you to queue up commands. So you can grab a worker from your mineral line, grab this guy. You can right click over here. You can hold shift and press like B then E, plant a pylon, and then just like shift click back to the minerals. And the worker will go and build the thing, automatically just go straight back to the minerals. In Terran case, if once a worker is building something, you don't even have to hold shift, you can just right click the minerals, and once it's finished building, it will go and mine. But similarly, you can hold shift and get that worker to, for example, build something else. If it's almost finished a building job, you might grab this guy and shift click to build a bunker next or whatever. But yeah, what you don't want is idle workers. He's going to plant a nexus. Is he? This he has right on the money in the middle of where the thing is. ObsceneFork this time. It's pretty different as opening builds go. I mean, there's no marines. He's got an engineering bay ready to upgrade those marines once he's got marines. I like the fast expo, which gets you extra income, but you do need to keep those workers mining. Don't forget, just highlight your command center, right click on the minerals. That will set the rally point for those minerals, so when the workers come out, they'll automatically go and mine. You don't have to be you don't have to be grabbing them over and over again. They'll do it automatically. Yeah, so double eBay single racks is not a build that I've ever seen before, and there's a reason for that. These eBays get you upgrades for the things that come out of the barracks. There is no point in upgrading like one marine, and you're going to be building marines one at a time here. So, what if we look at the money that we've got? We've got 1,500 minerals. Grab 5 of these SCVs and just chuck down 5 barracks, possibly even more, and a factory and other stuff as well. But always just like try if you can to just every now and again glance up into that top right hand corner and just eyeball how many minerals you've got. And if you cannot spend them fast enough, you need more production, so you just need to build more barracks. Okay. So, what is that? Neosteel plating being researched? I think it might be. Okay. These guys, these are great. Marauders are tough as hell. They're beastie. They pack a punch. They can't shoot up, but they're pretty good. Marauders will fare pretty well against adepts. They'll rough them up good and proper, but they do not shoot things in the air. And look, there are 3 stargates here with the fast fleet beacon as well. I suppose it's not that fast, is it? But with the fleet beacon as well, so it looks like eventually we're going to see carriers. I'm not sure what the hold up here is. I'm not sure why there isn't anything building at present. It's almost like Fyreheart's done the opposite thing. He's got like more production structures than he can afford to run, because he can't afford carriers 3 at a time at the moment. But okay, ObsceneFork finally now with loads of barracks, but the really unfortunate thing is he's building marauders. If he goes across the map right now, he wins. Maybe. Now, bear in mind, a lot of that army supply is in these carriers that are building. They're like, what are they like? 4 each, 6 each, or something? Maybe 6 a piece. And there are 3 of them, so that's 18 supply. that does show up in this, even though they haven't actually finished building yet. So if the marauders had turned up before the carriers arrive, the marauders eat their way through this, and they get a lot done. There's so many marauders, but unfortunately, and this is pretty harsh, they just don't show up. I don't know if ObsceneFork knows that. He is going to find that out pretty sharpish though, when the carriers just absolutely maul him. So what he needs is just so many marines, so many marines. Typically the Terran answer to carriers is Vikings do well, Ravens are pretty good because you can like do the armor shred, Ghosts are pretty good because you can do the EMPs and take all the shield off, stuff like that. So spellcasters, yes, but Vikings because they just shoot stuff from the other side of the world, and Thors because they also have just the most alarming range and they do splash in the air. These guys haven't a clue what's happening. They literally don't have a notion of what's going on. Like, why are we here? I don't know. I've brought some minerals. Where's your minerals? Oh, I didn't bring any minerals, man. No, it's sad. Yeah. No one knows why they're there. Okay. When is somebody going to attack? I want to see the engage. I kind of do, and I kind of don't. Looked almost like he knew that this was coming. ObsceneFork perhaps doesn't know where his opponent is. He's like, so this could get weird. One of the ways that you play against carriers is you just use the fact that they are one of the slowest units. So just don't fight them, because carriers, like once you get loads of carriers, look how quickly these marauders just smash through stuff like on the ground. If they were all shooting, they'd be awesome. But the carriers are just going to annihilate them. The marauders should do. They are going to kill all of these adepts without too much bother. So it just goes to show you how one-sided the fight would have been had the marauders come across the map before all this air was out. We've got some Phoenix in the mix. I'm not really sure why. The time for Phoenix was earlier generally. There are ways that you can continue to use Phoenix in your play, and it's normally for things like lifting siege tanks and stuff like that to basically use, if you've only got 3 of them, so you would use them in an engage to lift problematic units, just whip them off the ground. This is awkward, isn't it? Don't mind me. Yeah, so it's a lot of units, a lot of barracks for ObsceneFork, but he's still just building marauders, and that is of some concern. I mean, does he realise that they weren't shooting up? Is he aware that in that fight the marauders weren't doing any damage to the air? I don't know whether he was or not. I think he probably will realise it soon. The marauders will probably die before they can kill this stuff on the ground. Phoenix aren't going to really do much because you do have to activate their graviton beam or whatever it's called and pick stuff up, because they can only shoot things in the air. So it is going to be GG because they're just, the Terran doesn't have an answer to these carriers, and isn't building an answer to the carriers. It's marauders, which against anything on the ground, brilliant. Against air, obviously useless. And it's a shame because I quite liked ObsceneFork's fast expand opener. I definitely didn't like the double eBay and the very late barracks, but right idea, has this time realised, oops, I've got a lot of money, and has therefore built rather a lot of barracks. He's got 11 racks, so you can be building marauders or whatever 11 at a time, and that is good. You can get through quite a lot of money pretty quickly with that sort of output. But it was just the wrong choice of unit, which is a little unfortunate. Yeah, this sneaky gold. The problem Fyreheart has really is if you're going for fleet, what you normally find is that it's the gas that you run out of, not the minerals. And if anything, you've got more minerals than you can spend, so all your supplies taken up in carriers. So mining the gold isn't really an advantage for going fleet. It's extra. You need extra bases to mine the gas, essentially. Not that it matters, because this fleet is unstoppable, and I suspect there will be a GG soon, or not. Maybe ObsceneFork will be like, I've got workers, He's just going to throw down the sneaky command center there, fly it around the map. Nope, it's all over. GG.